Ronan, man, it's been, let's see, from May, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months or so. And I just want to clarify for the people watching, you're the second ever interview I've done. And now we're in the 320 or so. So, yeah, it will be quite interesting to see. We'll basically have your progress from day one of starting these interviews. But yeah, then the follow up, then third one. There's a whole timeline there of progress to see from you. So I know I just done a lot of rambling. Let's start off with Vernon. How are you? How's
Bro,
everything going?
you've been super busy, man. It's hard to imagine that it's been a year. It feels like it's been like it feels like it's been 5 years, at least for me. I don't know if it's been the same for you, but
This
man,
went
you've been
super fast for me. It feels like 4 months max.
damn. It's like I don't know, like a year's time just feels like 5 years.
Fair enough.
I don't. I guess that's a good problem to have
Mhm.
if time lasts longer. In my case, it's more life to live.
Okay, fair enough. And let's go with last time. We can just start with monetary stuff then. Last time you said you were making 7K a month. I know you had some NDA signed, so you couldn't say anything else that was happening there. And how's everything progressed for you in the financial sense since May?
Well, I've definitely broken into the five-figure range by now, so that's definitely worked out for me. Um, I have to. One of my boys, Alex. You know him. You've done an interview with him before. Alex, the copy marshal, bro. That guy started out. Man, he's a legend, and man, he started making more money than me, and I had to catch up to him. So it's that kind of deal. So,
Mm.
and we're
How
both
dare
copy
you make more
captains.
money at 15 years old? I can't take this. My ego will not allow it.
It's like no, I can't let this happen, man. Uh, so yeah, I had to beat him. So it's that kind of deal.
I actually met him in person.
I haven't met him in person, bro, but I've like he we're in each other's DMs. We're all the time, and we're talking to each other, and yeah, bro, we're pretty close as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
So I mean, he's one of the other copy captains with me. So I mean, we always see each other every week, and we talk to each other like every couple of days. So, bro, like we're close, man.
Solid, okay. And what are you planning on starting with him?
I don't know. I mean, he lives in Poland, so I'm thinking I might go visit him, maybe beat him up or something. He's taller than me, but we'll see.
Well,
I bet I could
really?
still kick
No.
that. Yeah, he's taller than me, man. He's
How
like
tall?
I think he's like 6'2" or something like that.
Oh no, he's taller than me. I'm 6'1". No.
I'm barely
No.
scraping.
Isn't he gonna grow even more? Oh,
Maybe who
these
knows?
Polish people, man. Damn.
The Poles, they're weird people, but they get the job done, man. They get the job
Yeah.
done.
Okay, then let's see. So potentially going over to visit, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Now, again, 5 months for someone who's working on themselves every single day. When they say it feels like even a year feels like 5 years, that's clearly because of how much work you've been putting into everything. Let's start off with how have you noticed your mentality change, mindset over those months?
It's funny because I talk with the professor, the copywriting professor in the real world, Andrew Bass. Man, that guy is a machine. He's like the Terminator, and he's just an absolute legend. He's like he's like the older brother I wish I had this whole time, and I'm actually super grateful that I got to meet him. At the bright age of 20 years old. I'm super grateful that I got to meet him, and I'm super grateful that we have the relationship that we have. He is he is the man. I love that guy. And I talked with him about this exact same thing. It's like I look back at the start of the year, and I see that I was a bit like more nervous, a bit more uncertain about the future. And then like as the year progressed, like you know how the Tates, they got sent to
Mhm.
jail, right? And when they got out on house arrest, Andrew was like telling stories about like isn't that Patrick Bet David interview where he was telling stories about how like Tristan was in jail and how like Tristan he just like didn't give a shit at all. Like as the year progressed, I began to notice myself like unconsciously just shift towards that. I
Mhm.
just don't even give a shit. Like at one point, like I just like didn't even give a fuck about making more money, and that was like sometime after May, I think, after our follow up interview,
Mhm.
and that was by the point where Alex was actually making more money than me. So at a certain point, I just stopped giving a fuck. But like I didn't really care about anything. So either way, I was having a good time. And I kind of noticed my mentality shift towards that, and now it's more like I care now. At the same time, I don't care. If that makes sense, it's a very weird dichotomy. It's
It
sort of
doesn't
like
quite make sense. So explain what you mean by you
yeah.
didn't care. When you initially, after May, when you stopped caring, what does that mean? Not caring in what way?
Well, it's like I'd train every day. I'd eat right. I'd work, but it's like I wouldn't really care about like hitting that next goalpost. Like I didn't really have that next goalpost
Mm.
in mind. If that makes sense. I'd do everything right, but not for the right reasons. So
Was it a lack of direction at that point then?
yeah, for sure,
That's what you call it?
it was
Okay.
definitely a lack of direction. Because I mean, in my mind, I'm already making more than
Mhm.
my parents. I'm already making more than anyone else I know. So it's like whatever. I'm already in better shape than anyone else I know. Whatever. Already got more chicks. Whatever. Who cares? But now, eventually, at a certain point, Andrew, he sat me down. He's just like, bro, you need to 10x your goals, and
Mhm.
that's something he talks about a lot inside of the copy campus. He talks about 10xing your goals, and it was at that point where I'm just like, okay, well, maybe instead of like going for 5 figures, maybe I should go for like 7 figures. Okay, I want to start a seven. I want to like start making 7 figures. I want to have so much money. I don't even know how much I have in the bank. Like just like whatever. Here's the debit card. Who cares? Something like that.
The American Express black card, you mean?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
bro. It's like I don't know if you ever watched the old Batman movie. It's like he whips out the Bat debit card or the Bat credit card or whatever. It's the one with George Clooney. A lot of people might watch this, but it's such a meme because he's Bruce Wayne. He just whips out the debit card and he's Batman. He's just like whatever. I'm gonna buy this Lambo right now. So that's like sort of the image I have in my head when I think about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can say from my own personal experience, I think it was around 3 months ago that it was kind of similar for me. I achieved all the goals I wanted to achieve. And then from there, I was like, well, what do I do now? Again, at the time, money wasn't really a goal for me, but yeah, everything in terms of networking, other things, I had gotten everything I wanted. I was out of the UK, fucking
Mm.
stab capital. I was in Spain. Life was good, but I just started being purposeless. Is that what I
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah. Purposeless. Yeah.
And yeah, it was about a month period of that, just getting through it. But even those lows, I personally I went quite deep within myself and just a lot of. I got a lot of new insights out of it when I came out of it and started going upwards again. Was it similar for you in terms of insights? Did you do much self introspection while you were in that state?
Yeah, I did a lot more self introspection. It's like after Andrew had that sit down with me, because because I'm working every day. Like I'm in the campus, so like he makes time to help me out on a
Mhm.
personal level, right? So like I'm answering questions for all the eggs, all the newbies who have like all those. Bro, they have the it's work sometimes. Let me just say that. But I still make the effort every day to sit down and answer questions and help out people in the chats, and so he makes that time to help me personally. And it was after that sit down that he had with me where he's just like, "Bro, you need to 10x your goals. You need to like get to the next level." That was when I really sat down. I'm just like, am I just gonna be at this level for the rest of my life, or am I gonna figure out the way to level up? So yeah, I mean, I definitely had a similar moment to you for sure. So yeah.
Mhm. Interesting. What about spirituality? Has that developed? I know that's like coming out of nowhere, but has that developed over the 5 months?
That has definitely developed over
Mhm.
the last few months. I'd say at the start of the year, I I was pretty much a pagan, pagan.
You were very
pa-
logical back then, right?
Yeah, or excuse me.
You were very logical back then.
Yeah, I'd say so. I wouldn't say I was an atheist. I
Mhm.
mean, I definitely like I for a time I believed in like the Norse mythology and stuff like that, but eventually after a few months I'm just like, well, that's probably everything written about that is probably Christian propaganda. Uh, I mean, it was after a few logical deductions here and
Mhm.
there, but a lot of what's written about it is pretty haram, and it kind of makes sense to me personally. It's like how the Vikings eventually adopted Christianity. It actually makes sense that a lot of what was written about it was made up by the Christians in the first place. But that's a whole other can of worms. I mean, eventually I it was after my conversation with Jewel, actually, as a matter of fact. It was after the interview I did with Sartorial Shooter, also another legend. And I got to thank you for setting that up because bro, you handled everything, the background, and thank you so much for setting that up. Between me and him, because without you having facilitated that meeting, I would have never actually, because I actually in turn, like, at thanks to Jewel and his influence, I turned to Islam.
Wow.
So I I started looking into Islam, and I started looking into uh, everything else, behind it. I mean, I'm not like the biggest expert on Islam. I'm not like the biggest expert on the religion itself, but I started looking into it, and I got behind a lot of the messaging behind it, and um, it really started to make sense to me. And eventually, after a few days, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna get down and pray. So that was kind of the process, and in the back of my mind.
Interesting. Do explain some more about that. Now, what do you pray every day? How does that work? And what kind of insights did you end up getting out of Islam, or still getting out of it?
Yeah. Okay. So I do pray. I try to pray every day. There are days where like I wake up and then it kind of like I forget about it for a moment, and then like later on, a few hours later, like I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't pray. But like I usually do that first thing in the morning, and I only do it once a day. Um,
Mhm.
I don't really. I know you're supposed to do it like 5 times a day or
Mhm.
something like that, but I also saw that like you're supposed to do it at go through Islam at your own pace, or Allah he's only going to accept what you're willing to give him, or something like that. So there's a lot of views out there in the Islamic world, and they're actually surprisingly tolerant, which was another surprise to me personally. I also heard the other day Andrew Tate did another interview, and he mentioned how back during the Crusades it was actually the Muslims who were super tolerant of the Christians, and it was the Christians who were super violent. I thought about that for a moment. I'm just like, okay. And then a few other insights I saw. I looked all over the world, and I saw the way like Britain used to be a pretty Christian country, and then Um, America used to be pretty Christian too, and now I kind of see the way Britain and America are going, and a lot of
Mhm.
the Western Europe. I see the rabbit hole they're going down, and I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of strange how you got all these Islamic countries, in the Middle East and in Africa, and they're still going strong. But it's all these like other countries with all these other religions. They're going down the shitter,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. So, that's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to me. It kind of ties back. It tied back in my head to the idea of like the longest running, the long standing civilization. Which civilization has been running the longest? Which one is still standing and it's still functioning very well? And to me, that it's clearly pretty much. It's like you got Dubai, you got all these other countries in the Middle East. They're still going strong, man. So I look at the religion they follow. I'm just like, okay, well,
Fair enough.
makes sense.
All right. And
Makes
then how
sense
has
to me.
that impacted your life then since you've started practicing as well?
Well, it kind of helps to know that it helps to know that as a creator, you feel a fondness for your creation. I mean, I'm sure you feel quite fond for all the interviews you've done, since it's you're putting yourself out there. You're putting your face on your own brand, and you're interviewing each of these young guys coming up in the real world. So I'm sure you have a fondness for your podcast, and you have a fondness for each of the interviews. You probably like have a favorite interview that you look to. It's like, yeah, I think I did pretty well in that interview. I really like that one the most. Might have been mine, who knows?
I
But
don't look at it from my perspective, but yeah, I enjoy it. Just quick, since you mentioned that, I just enjoy speaking to people, and whoever has the most interesting story I really just
yeah,
enjoy it. So yeah, it's more from that perspective.
yeah, exactly. It's like me. I like writing stories. I have a favorite story, even though it's probably not everyone else's favorite story.
Mhm.
And it's kind of the same with with other writers, like Stephen King. He has a favorite book. One of the books he wrote. One of them is his favorite. It's the and it's kind of the same. I imagine it's the same with God. God looks at humans and he's just like, I like humans. I'm very fond
Especially
of the
this one right there. Especially him.
yeah,
Oh.
especially that one with the long hair. He's pretty cool. I like yeah, but yeah, I mean, I imagine God looks at humans. He's just like, I like we're his creations, right?
Do you know what?
We're his children.
Let me see. This shouldn't be leaking anything. Let me clear. Can I? Is it rotated or no?
Show God the beauty of his creation.
Yeah. There you go.
Exactly. Straight up. Straight up. That's the point. So it really helps to know that we are a creation, and that there are expectations to live up to, if that makes sense. It's not like a free for all, like you can just be as degenerate as you want. It's like show God the beauty in his creation. And for me personally, it's really helpful to know that I can there's an idealized version of myself that I can live up to, that it's an example that God set for me, and he's just like he's waiting for me to become that version of myself. So it's cool personally for me to know that.
But it's more of the journey towards that person that
Yeah.
I'm sure God would appreciate. And
Oh
the
yeah,
more you strive to become that person, the more opportunities will come your way.
exactly. Yeah. It it's super cool to know that. And besides that, I mean, I look at the human brain and I'm just like there's no way we evolved You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like we had like some like God like somebody definitely created the human. Somebody definitely aikitoed the human brain. So
Mhm.
like the human brain is way too complex to just be like the result of
You know
evolution.
what's interesting for me? Something I've been looking into. I not as much now because I'm too busy, but a few weeks prior. Let me try to explain this. All right. The This is to do with quantum mechanics. The building blocks of our whole existence, of everything around us at the smallest level,
Hmm.
if it's not observed, it just acts its own way. Once you observe it and actually apply consciousness, as in your consciousness observes it, then it
Hmm.
acts differently. So our consciousness, again, has a power there in the most, it's like molecular level of, again, everything that has made the reality around us. So
Hmm.
clearly there's a power within our minds to basically manifest our reality. Again, I know people say manifestation is bullshit or whatever they want to
Yeah.
say, but if you align your heart and your mind to something, which is more than just visualizing it, that's it, to that goal, and you truly work towards it, I think it's inevitable that you will achieve it. And I've talked to so many people at this point and they all say the same thing. There was one that really stood out to me, and he said, anything I've ever wanted in my life, I have now achieved, even the bad as well. Anything I ever like spoke out has come into existence. So the good and the bad. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, in a way, it's, you can't apply, people apply logic to all of this because what they see around them, it's solid. The table,
Yeah.
solid, everything's solid. Like you can use logic for it. But when it comes down to, again, the smallest level, you can't apply logic to it. And I think that's, again, where spirituality starts linking in and other areas around that. There you go. That wasn't
Yeah.
too bad, I'd say. I quite like that monologue.
I definitely agree for sure. It's a lot more concise than some of mine the last few. Whatever. Well, yeah, I definitely agree with you there for sure.
Mhm.
It's like when you visualize a goal and you actually work towards it, then it's impossible for it to not become real.
Mhm.
Like it's inevitable at that
Yeah.
point. So I definitely agree with you there.
All right. Okay, cool. Love that segment. And now let's see. What else do we have? Physicality, obviously, you've been training. Probably not too much to add there. Any kind of fighting happening? Oh, no. Not at the moment.
No fighting. No fighting. Um I did start punching. I have a stack of tires in my garage. I did just start punching that because I saw how big like Tate's knuckles were. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's kind of cool to see. Imagine if like, imagine you walk up on some guy, you just like flex your like fist. It's like you got
And
like
they're like, oh,
two big ass,
gotta get
big
the fuck out
motherfucking
of
knuckles.
here. Yeah.
Remember his cousin said something like, you see a guy with like two like big like
Yeah. Yeah.
knuckles like that, or not
You know
not
you're
like mine,
fucked.
but like Tate's. It's like, bro, all he does is just punch. It's like boom.
Mhm.
That's all he does. So I thought that'd be pretty cool to have. I mean, obviously, I haven't broken anyone's face yet.
Yep.
I'm sure it's bound to happen at some point, but uh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, here's a question I don't think I've asked before.
Hmm.
Where was your life heading before the real world? Like, what do you think you'd be doing had you not joined the real world? How different would everything be?
Man, that's such a good question because like all we have to do is just go back like what 3 years, 4 years. In reality, it feels like 10 years ago before like I joined the real world.
Your past
Man,
life. You can just call it your past life at this point.
man, it's such a long time. Yeah, okay. My the the trajectory my life was headed towards, it definitely I mean, I was working like this. I was working as a subcontractor, and I was fixing like dishwashers and ovens in high end homes. So I mean, I was talking with rich people, but I wasn't learning from them. So I was fixing their refrigerators. So that's something I was doing. I'd definitely be like one of those, one of those like pickup artist guys that you see, like the cringe like pickup artist guys you see on the internet. It's like I'd definitely be one of those guys because that's something I was doing very regularly back then. Before I joined the real world, I was the guy because in Canada there's like a really big like pickup artist scene or something like that. So that's something I was doing regularly. I was going out and like approaching chicks. I got off from work and I'm just like I'm bored. It's on my way back home, so it's like whatever. I see a cute chick on the train, it's like whatever. Um, but yeah, I'd definitely be one of those guys for sure. And personally, that's super fucking lame. Now I
Yeah.
see that's super lame. It's like now I don't even have to like approach the chicks. Like they actually come and talk to me. It's fuck. I don't even do anything, man. Like I just
Mhm.
like I go out walk my dog. They're just like, "Hi, how's your day? I really like your hair." It's like, bro, my hair looks like shit now, but like when I wash it, it's ridiculous. So, but yeah, uh, man, I my life would be so shit if I didn't join the real world, and I'm just so thankful that I did. Man, it's like
Yeah.
I see those like pickup artist guys, and I'm just like, bro, I don't want to. It's just like,
Yeah.
uh,
Again,
yeah,
it's part of what guys don't understand. You need to put in the work into yourself, and when you do, you actually become a man worthy of like everything basically. Then yeah, they will all
oh,
come to you. But if you have nothing going on in your life and you're just a loser, that's bullshit. Like yes, game, go say this, and then
yeah, it's
if she
like
says
a
this,
game.
say this, and then if you speak well enough, then surely you'll be able to get a girlfriend. Not like she'll be able to see through your facades within a few weeks. So yeah, it's
Like,
just
bro,
lame.
it's like the whole game stuff. Like before, it's like super fake, and not now. I'm just like I'm
Yeah,
talking with the chick, and it's
you're
just
just yourself.
naturally like
Exactly.
it's just natural. It's like
Hmm.
I don't even like have to pretend to fake to
Hmm.
like I don't have to like famoose anything. It's just natural. So it's like before you have to fake the confidence. Now it's just like well the confidence is there.
Yeah, you don't even
So
think about it. It just flows.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't think about it. So it's that kind of deal.
Who would have
Yeah,
known Andrew Tate's teachings actually work?
bro. It's it's super it's so ridiculous. Like I don't know how anybody says it's like a scam. It's like, bro, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get skilled quick scheme. They teach you how to get skilled very quickly, which is,
Mhm.
I mean, in my experience, it's a lot better. Like you learn a skill very fast. You become very valuable in the marketplace. So it it's a wonderful system. It works quite well, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, you've done over 300 interviews with guys who are making more than they're making more than some fucking brokey college professor who's teaching business.
Mhm.
Man, that still gets me every time.
Mhm. Okay, let's see. I do enjoy conversations, so I do want to prolong this a bit more since we have some more time. What other angles we got in terms of personal development? I think a lot covered. Is there anything that comes to mind that happened recently or other that you would like to talk about?
Recently, uh, I mean, recently I started an agency with some fellow captains within the real world, so we're just conquering there. We're getting a few wins already right off the bat. so that's quite fun. Yeah, we recently got a pretty huge project, so we're working on that,
Mm-hmm.
but we're fairly confident. So
What's the structure there? Are all of you doing the copywriting, or is someone doing focusing more on sales, the other fulfillment?
yeah, so yeah, we got a few guys. They mainly focus on like the sales calls. So they hop on calls with the prospects themselves and they figure out what they need and so on and so forth. Me, I'm more like the brainstorming, the creative, the writer guy. It's like um so yeah, they really come to me when it's like, "Hey, we need the sales page written or we like what do you think about this offer? Like does it completely like fulfill does it meet all of the customers' needs? Like can you do this bit of research here?" It's like, yeah. So they really come to me with a multitude of tasks. But it's mainly the writing part. So yeah,
Okay. And you said quite a few first few clients. I'm guessing not too much you can say there, but how did you end up acquiring them?
we got them through networking and cold outreach. So we're doing like networking and cold outreach at the same time.
What does networking entail?
So one of the other members in my agency, so he's part of a another network. I'm part of a very I'm part of the same network that you're in. So
I
we're
don't know what that network that is. I'm only into real watch.
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I have no idea what. Sorry, I was just talking bullshit there.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah. So, but yeah, another member of the agency, he's in another network, and he talked to a few friends of his, and they need help with their offers. Like one guy's well, I can't say what he is, but
Mhm.
he needed help with his offer, so we're helping him out there. So yeah.
Good, got it. So, Andrew told you, Andrew Pass, to was it 10x your goals, 100x, whatever you said.
It's a
And
10x.
considering that, what are your goals now? In the let's can you lay it down, lay it out in short term, medium term, long term?
It's nuts because like I set up like a 1 year plan, right? I literally set this up like 4 hours ago,
Oh,
so
perfect.
it's on the works. So I wanted to have I want to have so much money, like I don't even know how much I actually have, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, for sure.
like put it down on the debit card. So like Tate talks about it. He says like if you know how much you have, then you don't have much, or something like that. So I kind of I want the opposite of that. It's like I literally do not know how much money I have. Like every time I check the bank balance, it's like the number just keeps getting higher for some reason. So yeah, it could be different every time. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the goals I wanted to have, and then another one I wanted to. I gotta get out of Canada because Canada's shit.
It's the
Like
best place on earth, no? I heard Canada's great.
so
It has lovely
5 minutes for
people. Everyone's so kind. The country's great, no? Justin Trudeau. Surely you can't say anything negative about Justin Trudeau while in Canada, can
I
you?
mean, he literally endorsed a Nazi, so it's like plenty I could say about him. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I got to get out of Canada, so
Mhm.
that's also on the list. So that's something I'm planning to do within the next few months.
Okay, got it. Now, I don't remember if I've asked this before either.
Hmm.
What is your? I'm sure by now your family knows that you're in the real world, right? And kind of associated with Andrew Tate. So, what did they think about that?
Well, my father's super supportive, but he's kind of just supportive of everything I do because, um,
You've seen the change within you.
well, yeah. I mean, he like he has me. I have a half brother, and then there's my older brother. So my older brother, he's not very supportive of me nor of Tate, but he's very civil. So, but my father, he's pretty supportive, and he encourages me to keep going. So that's nice. And then my mother, she's also pretty supportive as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And I'm sure they've again seen a lot of change in you, which has been very
Yeah.
positive for them to see in their eyes.
Well, yeah, my father, he's pretty hyped that I can stand up for myself, and I punched him in the face like last year, so we had a little row, but he's pretty, we had a little spar, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Oh,
So
but emotional one or
no, it's
control?
like a no spar, like controlled
Okay,
spar.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's pretty happy about that. It wasn't really the same for my brother, so um, but yeah, he's pretty happy about that. My mother, she definitely looks up to me in this scenario. She's like, "Do you think this is a good idea?" And
Mhm.
it's sort of like that
Uh,
dynamic, if that makes sense.
yeah, it
So
does.
yeah.
She sees you as a man now and can come to advice to you because of that.
Oh yeah, she does actually. She's like, "Hey, like," she came to me the other day with like some marketing problem with. She had like a side hustle going on with her friends, and she needed someone with like a marketing problem, and she came to me for it, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you should do X, Y, and Z, and then go down this route, and you'll be good." It's like, yeah, okay, cool. So it's pretty cool that my talents are called upon in daily
Mhm,
life, even though like I don't really a lot of. I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent here
mhm,
because in the copy campus, like we kind of teach you how to become like a full stack marketer, if that makes sense. And a lot of like a lot of the graduates, let's say, they kind of like they come out of the campus like jerking themselves off to marketing. For me, I'm just like, well, let's chill the fuck out here. It's not something I jerk myself off to. I'm skilled in it, but it's like let's just chill here. I kind of focus on other things, uh, other aspects of self development, and making more progress in other areas. But
mhm,
uh, that's something I just wanted to touch on. It's like a lot of people will just jerk themselves off to that skill, and man, it's just annoying. It's just annoying, man. But it happens. It happens. Yeah. To get back on track.
mhm. Okay. Happy to wrap up that then. A question I always ask at the end of the interviews for people who are unsure about joining the real world because you're a paid actor, because it's a scam for $50 for a
Bro,
month.
I don't even get paid to like help out in the real world. Not, and I'm still helping out in the real world. Like
Mm. Just because of
so.
how much value is provided to you. So yeah, what advice would you have to those people who are unsure about joining?
What do they say? I mean, I'm at the point where like if you don't join, I'm just apathetic because like it's literally the way out of slavery. Like we teach you how you can become a valuable asset to any business all over the world. So we show you how you can make money anywhere from your laptop, from your phone, from your typewriter. Who gives a fuck? You can make money in any country, wherever. Help, and if you don't, you can learn the skills necessary to help any business in a quick amount of time for only $50 a month. And you can do that within the first month. And if you think it's a scam, or if you just don't like Tate, or if you think it won't work for you because you're too young, like we get You get guys in there who are like they're like 13, 14 years old. They think they're too young to make money, and it's like I remember Professor Arno. He's another G. He talked about he said he hired like a 14-year-old to write a sales page one time. He paid that kid like 4 grand or something like that. So I'm like, bro, even as a 14-year-old, you can make it. So at the very least, all you lose, like join. At the very least, you lose $50 and you learn a valuable skill set. That's what I'd say. And if you don't join, well, I don't really give a fuck. So, I mean, you missed the meal ticket, or you're not going
Fair
to
enough.
join because you're this. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So if people want to find out more about you or contact you, why can they do so?
yeah, you can find me at Ronan Paulson on Instagram, and then you could find me at Paulson Ronan on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter though. I just kind of repost Tate stuff, but occasionally I pop in there and drop a fresh insight. But it's mostly on my Instagram where I'll be more active. And then you could also find me in the real world.
Mhm.
So
Is it still the Hammer of the Gods, or have you changed that now?
no, Warrior of Allah now. So
Fair enough.
I
All right.
I'm still technically Hammer of the Gods. I got the
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. I bet no
yeah
one
I got
else in your family can lift that. You're the chosen one.
yeah I'm the only one. Surprise, surprise. It's it is what it is.
All right. Ronan, was a great catch up. 40 minutes. Nice. I like that.
Yeah, mate. Bro,
And
it's always awesome talking with you. Like,
it was
bro,
well.
you're the man. You're the man.
Dude, look at the difference from our first interview. For both of us, how we've both evolved. And imagine we'll be looking back on this in 5 to 10 years, showing our children, look, this is, you'll be showing your kids, yeah, this is how it all began back then. Here, watch the video.
Bro, straight
And
up.
then,
My
damn, that'd
sons
be
will
cool.
be like, that's my father. He's young than me. Like, he made it. Bro, I mean, you'll have like strong Brits, strong British sons who are like 6 foot
British,
five.
excuse me. I
I
am Eastern
thought you
European. I'm gonna have
were
warrior
strong,
Eastern European sons, or
strong
something
Eastern
similar. Who knows?
European sons.
Maybe
They're like,
some. You know what's the special? The special kind of kid I'm going for? A blue-eyed Latino kid. Now that would be something.
okay, yeah, that's
That would
definitely
have to
something.
be
He's gonna be like 6'8". He's gonna
that
be using like a great sword or something like that.
sounds pretty good to me. But yeah,
Bro,
Ronan,
that sounds pretty G.
great catch up. Love this. Let's do another one some point next year, towards the beginning of next year.
Sounds
We'll
good.
be looking forward to that. And until then, all the best to you.
You too, mate.